Egypt's President Mohamed Morsi warned that the blood being shed by Israel will be, quote, a curse upon it. He made the remark at a mosque after Friday prayers. Morsi is Egypt's first elected president and is under pressure to take a tougher line with Israel than his predecessor, Hosni Mubarak. Khairi Abaza is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He joins us now from Washington with his thoughts on this ongoing conflict. Welcome back to our program. Let's begin by talking about Egypt. They have to play a real balancing act here, appease their people, show support for the Palestinians, and ultimately play a key role in mediating some sort of ceasefire. Can they do it?
Yes, it is in Egypt's interest to appease the situation, and also in Morsi's interest to show that there is a shift from the policies of Mubarak and that Egypt has a new leadership and new policies. But it is, of course, in everybody's interest to calm the situation. Whether Egypt can do something or not, this depends on its relations with Hamas. So far, even if Hamas is affiliated in a way, or at least symbolically, to the Muslim Brotherhood, the party that is ruling Egypt, actually, or the organization from which hail President Morsi, yet the relations between Hamas and Iran are still very strong. And there are financial interests between them. There are also Iran provides Hamas with weapons. So the real ally of Hamas is actually Iran and not Egypt. So when we look at the situation from that perspective, it is difficult to see how Egypt can solve and appease the situation. Of course, Egypt is trying the best it can to appease the situation, while trying to demonstrate that Egypt is still supportive of the rights of the Palestinians, and to try and keep the peace with Israel at the same time.
Keep the peace with Israel, because in doing so, in a sense, then they're keeping peace with the United States, and the United States provides Egypt with a lot of money.
Yes, and today President Morsi is walking on thin ice, because the relationship with the United States is not the same as the days of Mubarak. At the same time, he does not, President Morsi does not control Hamas. So he's not a U.S. ally the way he was, and he is not the boss of Hamas. So he's in a very difficult situation. And also internally, he has to show that he supports the rights of the Palestinians. At the same time, he has to demonstrate that he does not endanger the security of Sinai and the stability in Sinai. The situation is already not great in Sinai because of the presence of radical Islamist group in the peninsula. So he is in a very delicate situation, and so far his politics towards the crisis has been very symbolic. He withdrew the ambassador, the Egyptian ambassador, from Tel Aviv. He sent the Egyptian Prime Minister to Gaza, but it's all symbolic and nothing concrete or that he did so far.
I'd like to talk about Israel. What do you think is Israel's strategy? Some have suggested with the upcoming election in January, Netanyahu wanted to create a conflict to show just how tough he can be. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, of course there are elections in Israel, and it's important for any upcoming prime minister to demonstrate that he cares about the security of Israel and the Israeli citizens, and that he would do whatever it takes to protect Israel and the Israeli citizens. But there is also another matter beyond the elections. There are concerns in Israel regarding the military capabilities of Hamas. Today Hamas has rockets that are much more powerful than what they used to have before. So it's an issue, it's a security concern that from an Israeli perspective it is being addressed beyond the issue of the elections.
I have about 30 seconds left for this next answer, please. Do you think that a wider escalation can be avoided?
I think wider escalation should be avoided, and it is in nobody's interest right now to escalate the violence. The main two players are Israel and Egypt, who have armies, and I don't think that they would like to engage in any sort of confrontation, and appeasement is the only logical outcome for this situation.
Khairi Abaza, thank you so much for talking to us tonight.